Happy full moon in the sign of Cancer. I asked Google, how do you recognize that a friendship is piss poor and not, in fact, healthy? This is what Google had to say. Being self-centered, being unpredictable, not asking questions about your friend's life, being jealous of your friend's success and abundance, feeling threatened by your friend's other friends, not being supportive of your friend, being somebody that always brings drama, being manipulative with your friends, feeling completely drained after interacting with your friends, secretly copying your friends. The friendship simply doesn't feel right. Gossip is a common theme with bad friendships. They gossip about others to you, which means they gossip about you to others. Everything is about them. Being overly competitive with you. Being jealous of your happiness and your success in life. Toxic friends are needy. They don't support your goals but expect you to make yourself emotionally available to them. Toxic friendships are manipulative. They want to isolate you from others. They love projecting their issues onto you by blaming you for all of their problems. And even when they apologize to you for having done something wrong to you, they're not actually sincere because what they really are mad about is the fact that you caught them. So the apology is uncomfortable because they feel exposed. As such, the apology is never sincere because their goal was to emotionally bring you down. Unhealthy friendships are loaded with disrespecting boundaries, because toxic friendships are about a lack of respect. The world gets better when everybody becomes more emotionally intelligent. Emotional intelligence is about exploring our heart space. Some of us are terrible friends because we were not loved properly by our mothers, our birth mothers. Our birth mothers were responsible for teaching us about our feelings and honoring our feelings. Whenever they did not do that, whether it's our birth mothers or adoptive mothers, we're left with something that in the psychological community we've coined as a mother wound. And women and men who suffer from a mother wound will often have terrible friendships. The unresolved issues that we have with our mothers, we bring them to all of our female friendships. On January 13th, we're having the first full moon of 2025, which is a full moon in the sign of Cancer at the Aquarius degree. Aquarius is a sign of friendship. This full moon is happening at the 23rd degree, which corresponds to zodiac sign Aquarius. It's time to process our sensitivity and our humanity and our emotional needs. One thing Aquarius and Cancer both have in common is that they're naturally idealistic, meaning that they like to see people do well. They naturally like to see people feel safe and nurtured, and they'll create an environment where people are allowed to thrive. This powerful cosmic energy of the full moon in Cancer can help you harness this desire for yourself. This Cancer full moon is about harnessing your own sensitivity by grounding it in Saturn's truth. As you know, Saturn is the sister sign of the moon. So balance requires both emotionality as well as keeping our feet on the ground. To attract abundance, love, and positivity into our lives, we must make a decision. And that decision requires separating ourselves from people, places, and situations that do not foster the energy we're looking to manifest: abundance, love, and positivity. Remember, everything and everyone is energy. Not all friendships last forever. Some of them are for a reason, like a work friend. You were working somewhere, you connected around that task, and now you're working somewhere else. There's no need to keep the connection going. A season. A childhood friend who was your next door neighbor that you played with. Now you move to another city, that connection has ended. Or a lifetime, which is what I call soul friendships. So it's time for us to examine our connections and determine whether they are for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. A good example of a soulful friendship is Gayle King and Oprah Winfrey. I have to tell you, I honestly marvel at their friendship. It makes me tear up when I think about it. Oprah Winfrey, an Aquarius, and Gayle King, a Capricorn, have been best friends for almost 50 years. Imagine that. The energy of Saturn has kept their connection growing for half a century. Saturn in astrology is the ruler of Capricorn. Capricorn is the father of the zodiac, while Cancer is the mother of the zodiac. A full moon in Cancer is calling us to make executive decisions, so we're getting out of our heart space and into our heads about our relationships. It's time to be honest about our intimate connections, how they help or hurt us. One of the sayings my therapist said to me recently is, don't treat yourself as badly as if treated you. Those of us who have grown up in toxic environments know no better but to repeat what has been taught to us. A full moon is an opportunity to investigate what has been taught to us and choose the better option. Oprah has always been vocal about the fact that Gayle is kind of like the mother she never had. In fact, Gayle King is such a nurturing and loving friend that, according to Oprah, Gayle is actually happier for Oprah's success than Oprah actually is for her own success. Because many women have never had this kind of honest and loving and nurturing and loyal partnership with one another, some have even accused Gayle and Oprah of being in a secret lesbian relationship. Oprah herself has admitted that the rumors only exist because most people have never seen a friendship like this. Most people are not used to seeing women with this kind of truth bond between them. Now, imagine two women who love each other and want to see each other succeed. No secret jealousy, no envy, no secret competition, no backhanded compliments, just love and support. Many women have never experienced this kind of friendship with other women. In a Newsweek interview, Gayle King said, I never get sick of being asked about Oprah because I so love that she is loved the way that she is. Now, some of you may argue that this connection is only good or has only lasted this long because these two women are alike, when in reality that cannot be the furthest thing from the truth. While Oprah grew up impoverished with a history of abuse, often moving between her parents' home in Nashville and Milwaukee, Gayle King spent part of her childhood in Turkey, where she had a housekeeper and a swimming pool. But despite their vastly different upbringings, the women found one another and never looked back. Oprah herself has admitted that their connection is truly magical. In the August 2006 issue of the O magazine, which is the Oprah magazine, Oprah said, something about this relationship feels otherworldly to me, like it was designed by a power and a hand greater than my own, adding, whatever this friendship is, it's been a very fun ride and we've taken it together. This Cancer full moon is asking us to bring real friendships back, real feelings back. Real friends nurture each other, collaborate to help each other thrive in the world. If you've never had a loyal friend who genuinely cared for your soul, it's time for you to ask yourself some questions. What is it that I am doing that is inviting selfish people into my life? I would suggest journaling about these questions. Question number 2, how is the way that I am emotionally neglecting myself being mirrored back into my friendships? Question number 3, in what ways am I inviting energies into my life that I am pouring into but who are not interested or not able to pour back into me? And lastly, question number 4, how is the way that I do friendships connected to my emotional bond with my mother? The nurturing vibes of this Cancer full moon is inviting us to manifest our deepest desires by letting go of energies that are unkind and selfish. Friendships require work, meaning give and take. When you care about someone, the feelings isn't enough. You have to take action to protect your bond to support your friend and to give them the space to evolve into the very best version of themselves as designed by the highest power. Friendship requires love. Love without friendship is a facade, in the same way that friendship without love is fake, because love is in the heart. Real friends care about each other's hearts. They're tender with each other's hearts. As such, they don't purposely do things to make each other feel neglected or abused. Real friends work through the yucky and uncomfortable feelings of envy and jealousy to nurture their emotional bonds. If you're willing to be brave during this Cancer full moon and do this work, you can totally get a new perspective on your own emotional needs in intimate relationships. I liken the full moon in astrology as playing defense in the world of sports. There's offense, which is when we actually plant seeds. That's when we have a new moon. And then there's defense, which is when we take out the weeds. Some people in our lives are simply weeds. It's time to say no to anyone, anything, or any environment that dismisses or abuses our emotions. The Cancer full moon is a powerful time for manifestation because water signs are the very best at manifesting their dreams. This full moon is about nurturing, caring, and providing for ourselves emotionally. And we can only get there once we recognize the ways in which we have not been doing that. So this is really the perfect opportunity to focus on our desires and bring them into reality. In other words, it's time to be selfish. With the Cancer full moon, we can expect some emotional awareness to be heightened and our intuition to be stronger than ever before. This means we'll feel more vulnerable and in touch with our deepest desires as well as our fears and insecurities. Now, have you ever felt like you are doing everything right but still struggling to manifest your dreams? If so, you're not alone. I think one of the biggest challenges people face when manifesting is trying to sort through their insecurities, which are often rooted in fear and a lack mindset. One of the issues that I personally struggle with is feeling deserving enough to have what I want because my chart is loaded with Capricorn energy. I am a Capricorn stellium. Capricorn is synonymous for responsibility. I never feel like I deserve. While my brain knows that I do, my heart is always worried that I did not do enough to have it. So I tend to overwork myself in relationships and every aspect of my life to prove to myself that I deserve. And naturally, this overworking only sends more energy into the universe that I do not deserve. So my dreams run away from me in the same way that I'm running away from them. Naturally, this means that I tend to have frayed emotional connections with myself because I do not prioritize my feelings. I ignore them so I can get to my goals. Another common struggle for me as a Sagittarius stellium is impatience. I am a naturally restless person. I'm one of those people who wakes up every day naturally excited to be alive and ready to get the day started. I wake up every day, close to 5 a.m. in the morning, ready to get rocking and rolling. Both Sagittarius and Capricorn are interested in passion and the pursuit of their passion. But with that comes a deep impatience with time. For Capricorn, it's about accomplishing the task well in a minimal amount of time. And for Sagittarius, it's about feeling good. We live in a society that's all about instant gratification. So it can be tough for people like me to wait for our desires to manifest in the physical form. For others, there can also be a fear of failure. I would argue from my work as a therapist that I've met more people afraid of success than they are of failure even. For many people, there is a false narrative that they're creating in their heads, which we call limiting beliefs about what they can and can't do, what they're capable of. And, the thoughts that they have about themselves basically hold them back from doing the things, from taking the risk, from going after the things that they really want and the things that make them happy. And naturally, that keeps them feeling unfulfilled. And with regards to the fear of success, I think the fear of success can be debilitating for a lot of people, especially if they were raised in an environment where they were shamed or made to feel bad for wanting to be great. Many people are afraid of greatness. They all admire it, but very few actually see themselves as being great at anything. And for some people, they're so afraid of greatness that when they see it in others, they naturally feel repulsed by it. They hate to see others win because it reminds them that they've let themselves down in their own pursuit of greatness. Now, these fears and doubts, they can be devastating. They can leave us feeling stuck and unsure of how to move forward with our lives. But here's the thing. Manifestation is a process. It's not a destination. The compass can always change directions according to what we're feeling and what we need. And as time passes, our needs change. It takes time, effort, and patience, but the payoff is so worth it, just like a Gil and Oprah friendship. Remember, Rome was not built in a day, much like a 50-year friendship with two women that love to see each other win is not just something that one lucks into. It's something that a person has to commit themselves to working on. And it looks like both of these women have been doing that work. Besides, according to Greek mythology, Rome was built in the midst of two brothers fighting with one another over power. So greatness, fulfillment, manifestation of our dreams cannot be achieved in the absence of struggle. The struggle is a constant fuel that keeps us motivated to keep going for the thing. But the struggle is not out there, it's actually within. When we learn to quiet our minds, to stay true to ourselves, and to trust in the universe, our instincts and our intuition become sharpened. And when we're more in tune with ourselves, we become more open to receive. Openness is what we need to manifest our dreams. What water signs know is that true power doesn't come from being a bully and from looking to dominate others, but rather from letting go and from accepting what is. I would encourage you to pull out your astrology natal chart and look to see where you have Cancer and Aquarius in your chart. I would focus on those specific areas. And from there, I will look to see where I have Cancer and Aquarius degrees in my chart. And these will be the other areas where I would be asking myself, what is it that I need to do to revamp these parts of my life to bring them into alignment with the future that I envision for myself? Many people struggle to understand the effects of lunar phases, particularly the full moon in Cancer, which can evoke a lot of intense emotions. Oftentimes, these are emotions that we've buried. Cancer is all about the home. It's about the mother. It's about our roots. It's about our origin story. When we go to our homes, it's unavoidable to not deal with our mommy issues. We all have mommy issues. And mommy issues show up in all of our relationships. So a full moon in Cancer is going to illuminate for us intense emotions that we may have about repressed feelings that we have with our mothers, unaddressed and suffocated emotions. This full moon in Cancer can be a powerful trigger that can bring up all sorts of dark emotions and light emotions, all the way from gratitude to sadness, from joy to anxiety. It's a time when the emotional dams are going to burst open and we're going to be forced to confront our hidden emotions. For some of us, this can be overwhelming, especially if we're not prepared for the emotional tidal waves that's coming our way. However, with a little courage and a desire to keep moving forward, we can use these revelations as fuel for self-awareness, which equips us with better tools to be able to move ourselves in the direction of our dreams. Cancer in astrology is about emotional growth. It's about confronting our uncomfortable emotions, and it's a time to really be emotionally aware. Cancer is the most emotionally aware zodiac sign. Unlike Scorpio, who represses their emotions and hides them in the darkness, or Pisces, who denies their emotion and transits to another delusional land where they no longer have to deal with the chaos of it all, Cancer is able to actually sit with their feelings. This is why many of us in the astrology community consider Cancer, the ice queen of the zodiac. Ice takes time to melt into water. And as you know, water is money. Water is abundance. Water is life. Water is love. Water nurtures everything that it touches. It cleans everything. It makes everything better. It makes everything grow. Water is an essential component of human life. The full moon in Cancer is about exploring our waters, our emotions, all of our emotions. It's like the universe is giving us a giant emotional hug, whether we like it or not. We're being told it's okay to feel your feelings. And some of those emotions could be rage. Could be the awareness that you've been played, you've been used, you've been abused, you've allowed too many terrible things to happen because you did not value yourself. And it can hurt to come to those realizations, and that can stir up all sorts of feelings, whether it's anger, nostalgia, feeling sentimental. Regardless of the emotions that come up, it's okay. Allow them to come up and let them teach you. A full moon in Cancer is a time when the emotional stakes are high and we cannot run away from ourselves and from our feelings. We're going to be forced to sit with them and to confront them. And this is not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually an opportunity for us to heal so we can tap into our highest, cleanest vibration, because vibration is what brings in growth and manifestations. It's not the behavior, it's not the thought, it's the vibration. And the vibration is activated by our emotions. Our emotional landscape can vastly change during a water full moon because water is fluid. So it's essential for us to respect and recognize what we're feeling. For some, this time can be a time of emotional release. There may be a lot of tears. There may be a lot of catharsis. There may be a lot of emotional, intuitive awareness. Whatever it is, however it comes, honor it. No matter what it is, let it teach you. Learn the lessons from the emotions. The full moon in Cancer is about caring for ourselves, honoring ourselves by creating a nurturing space for ourselves. It's a time to focus on the people, places, and things that bring us comfort, safety, joy, and that make us feel like family. And it's time to eliminate all the others who do not fit the bill. Cancer is very good at creating a scenic environment in the midst of chaos that brings them a deep sense of comfort. And what I love about zodiac sign Cancer is that they're also very protective of their emotional well-being. So while the world may be burning down, why not cook a delicious meal? Why not put on some cozy pajamas? Why not watch reruns of your favorite show? Why not put on some popcorn? Do what makes you feel good. Cancer energy is about creating a safe and nurturing home within themselves. And it's from that place that they pour safety and nurturing energy into the world. So it's time to focus on your mental health and your emotional health and to make sure that you are prioritizing your heart. This might look like being more self-indulgent. This might look like having a self-care routine that you actually schedule. This might look like prioritizing self-compassion when things don't go the way you want. This might look like telling people no when they ask you to do things that you don't want to do or that make you feel uncomfortable. 2025 is the year of Aries. It's the year of the Wild Wild West. It's the year of war and devastation and carnage. It's time to be selfish. You're not going to make it during 2025 if you don't know how to be selfish. Aries is the most selfish zodiac sign because they have to be. 2025 is a year of being like an Aries, meaning it's time to be selfish and to take some time during this Cancer full moon to nurture your heart, your body, your spirit, your soul, and to take care of yourself so you can feel safe and comfortable inside of your own body. The full moon in Cancer can also have a profound impact on our relationships, especially our intimate relationships, whether it's our romantic relationships or family dynamics. So it's a time when old patterns and old wounds might come back up because the full moon is about illumination. It's about exposure. It's about making what's in the dark come to light. It's an opportunity for us to see more clearly who we are, what we're made out of, how we do relationships, and release patterns that no longer serve us so we can create a more authentic and heartfelt connection with ourselves and with other people. And yes, this involves having some tough realizations and some tough conversations so that we can get to some realness. Simply being more present for our uncomfortable emotions and offering ourselves empathy will enhance our ability to show others compassion, because we cannot give others compassion that we don't have. The key insight to take away is how to harness this energy for healing. And healing is directly tied to manifestation. So allowing ourselves to heal what was wounded and to release what no longer serves us and embracing the emotional clarity that this Cancer full moon is bringing will only make us better and more able to attract our dreams to ourselves. The full moon in Cancer can be a powerful catalyst for evolution and transformation. It's up to us to decide how we want to use this energy. Will we let our emotions consume us, or will we choose to use them as a tool for transformation? Emotions are neither good or bad. They simply are. They're simply messengers telling us what's actually going on. Not what we want to believe is going on, but what is actually going on. This lunar event in Cancer is all about releasing the past and embracing the present moment. It's a time to let go of old wounds, old friends, old patterns, old relationships, intimate ones as well, romantic ones, family ones that no longer serve us emotionally. The full moon in Cancer can be a powerful trigger for us to reflect, to be introspective. It's time to essentially listen to our intuition and honor our gut. By doing so, we can release the emotional baggage that's been holding us back and step into a more authentic, empowered, and honest version of ourselves. So instead of asking or begging for other people to treat us fairly, we can choose to recognize that the connection is no longer working for our hearts and simply move on. So let's talk about how we can harness the energy of this full moon for personal growth and healing. The first step is to acknowledge our emotions. So rather than trying to suppress them or deny them or write new stories over them, we can simply let them be. And journaling for me is a wonderful way to do that. Meditation is also another way to further explore our feelings by simply being quiet and allowing our bodies to make us aware of what we've been suppressing. We can get greater awareness into our habits, our patterns, our psyche. And other times, simply taking time away, prioritizing quiet time to reflect on our feelings and dissect them like a specimen under a microscope can give us a lot of data. So don't be afraid to ask yourself the tough questions. What do I want? Why do I do what I do? Is what I do conducive to what I want? My world drastically changed when I realized that as a Capricorn moon, I was a parenthesized child whose feelings were constantly invalidated. So as a result of that, I would naturally attract emotionally wounded souls like me who came from homes where their feelings were invalidated like mine. While there's no shame in coming from emotional chaos, adults have a responsibility to heal themselves so they do not go through the world projecting their shame and insecurities and fears and desperations onto others. Adults can choose to be courageous enough to face their own brokenness as to not use others' energy to manage their toxicity and inner turmoil. We are no longer children. It's time for us to unlearn what it means to be in a healthy relationship and what it means to be a sensitive soul and how we can bring care and gentleness to our friendships and intimate relationships, whether they be romantic or family relationships. But of course, that process starts with us. You should never expect anyone who hates themselves to love you. And you should never expect yourself to manifest healthy friendships when you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself. It's time to engage in self-analysis because the universe is a mirror. Who we are is what's being given back to us. This Cancer full moon is going to expose for us our toxic patterns and relationship habits that no longer serve us. To wrap up, we've learned that the full moon in Cancer is inviting us into an emotional dance. This dance involves confronting our feelings and nurturing ourselves back to health, providing a powerful opportunity for introspection and a renewal of spirit. Emotional balance requires bringing our feelings back in harmony with practicality. Capricorn, as the father of the zodiac, is very practical and struggles to be emotional. Cancer, as the mother of the zodiac, is very emotional and struggles to be practical. What we're being asked to do is to match the behavior with the feelings. In other words, a person who loves you simply acts like it. So it's time to stop loving and protecting those who do not love or protect you. Let's make 1 + 1 = 2. What do you think? If you found this conversation helpful, be sure to check out our other astrology content and leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Follow our other YouTube account, Intuitive Healing with an N, for Astrology 101 content, styled under Libra for love conversations in astrology, styled under Virgo for medical astrology content, and Astrology Weekly for manifesting with the lunar cycles. So how do you plan to harness the energy of the Cancer full moon to enhance your manifestation abilities? My last recommendations are to first take some time for you to really think about what makes you feel safe and what makes you feel grounded and what makes you feel secure. Family is supposed to feel safe and secure and grounded and loving. When you do not feel safe and loved and secure, you're not in the presence of family. Cancer is about the home. Capricorn is about the community. Both of these signs are deeply rooted in the preservation of community and family. So what are your heart's deepest desires? What do you need in connection to feel safe, to feel protected, to feel grounded, to feel happy, fulfilled, and complete? Once you have a clear idea of what you want, write it down and make it specific. Then every time somebody new enters your life, look at your list to see if they live up to those expectations. Capricorn is strategic. So when we balance out our emotions with a strategy, we can be sure to land in a safe place. So to wrap it up, I would encourage you to create a ritual, a water ritual specifically, that feels special and sacred and meaningful to you as you honor this oath you're making to yourself to no longer make yourself available for people, places, and situations that do not provide you with love, care, dignity, and tenderness. Thanks so much for listening to the Aquarius Podcast. I'll catch you next week for our next astrology chat. I'll catch you next week for another astrology chat. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.